This isn't a video to shame anybody in any way, shape, or form on drinking. It's just my own experience about what I went through and how it impacted me. I decided to stop drinking alcohol for a variety of different reasons. I have been off, or I haven't had any more than probably about 2 consecutive drinks within a sitting in the past, I'd say 4 years or so. Something that's kind of funny about drinking alcohol is that it's so ingrained in our culture and it's so normalized. Everybody drinks, at least casually. And when you don't drink, there's peer pressure. It is very, very strange because if it were compared to any other substance, it wouldn't be looked at that way. Throughout my entire life, whenever I did stop drinking, it was strange. People always commented on it. Oh, why aren't you drinking tonight? Oh, you better catch up. I decided to stop and to stop putting myself around those type of atmospheres because I feel like those types of environments, they bring about very negative energy. I drank very casually for quite some time, probably about 2 years or so. I drank quite casually, 1 or 2 a night, sometimes 3. A lot of the people in my circle did do that pretty casually. It wasn't really ever a thing to take note of. A lot of why I made the choices that I did was because I had this bit of a mental checklist in my mind where what were the benefits and what were the reasons that I should quit or not have anything to do with it. So the benefits, I guess, were that the social anxiety, I guess, it felt like it cured that. Sometimes it felt like it brought about these new experiences that I wouldn't otherwise experience if I hadn't had that, I guess, mind-numbing aspect where I wasn't always overthinking and panicking. The reasons why I decided to quit was because I found that I wasn't really actually having these unique experiences. It wasn't narrowed down to the alcohol per se. I felt like it didn't actually cure my social anxiety. It just allowed me to express myself a lot better, and that's something I could work on elsewhere. In terms of the cons for drinking alcohol, number 1, it's expensive, incredibly expensive. If you go out to bars and drink socially, the amount of money that you'll spend just on a night out is astronomical. If you drink casually, it's not like you're saving any money there either. It all really adds up and it's all incredibly expensive. So another benefit, I guess, is that it felt like you're more widely accepted for drinking. And I guess I was scared to go against that because I didn't want to seem like a straight edge, I guess. That's a term that was kind of used back in my teen years. I'm not sure if that's so much used anymore, but I didn't want to seem like I was, I guess, straight edge and I didn't drink at all. So that was kind of a worry of mine. And I found that people don't tend to care as much. While going through my meditation journey and trying to be a little bit more healthier, a little bit more conscious, a little bit more aware of energies and how I was feeling and being in certain environments, I guess I was just becoming more aware how I felt being under the influence. I quit drinking because it didn't really seem like it was worth it for the toll that it has on my body and the toll that it has on me mentally. I think it's because what I wanted in my life and where I was going didn't really match up. So I really wanted to be health conscious and make more wholesome decisions, I guess. And drinking felt very against that because it felt like I was poisoning my body and I would have to recover after a night of drinking. Oftentimes I would drink and then I'd feel kind of just sick and I'd have a headache and it just wasn't providing me what it is that I was looking for out of these things. And just because I could tie the fact that I had good experiences and lots of fun at times with drinking, it didn't mean that the two went hand in hand. Drinking and having fun or having these great experiences, I could not fabricate them essentially. I had my first drink when I was 15, I believe, and it was a huge part of high school and it was a big part of socializing. As I mentioned previously, I had social anxiety. So this allowed me to really open up. I could really be myself. I could be bubbly. I could be fun. I could do all these things I didn't really have the guts to do sober. So I leaned on it for that sake. And I had lots of fun experiences, I think, just because I was pushing myself out of my boundaries because I just didn't care when I was drinking. But then, of course, the morning after would come and I'd have crippling anxiety because you wonder, oh, what did I say? What did I do? Did I really do that? Did I really say that? Oh my gosh, like if a hangover wasn't bad enough, that aspect of it sure was. After realizing that I couldn't have these experiences, I guess, that I was searching for or reaching for. I kind of leaned on it more so as like a numbing agent, so, take the edge off. I'm sure we've all heard that phrase before. Like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock would hit and you'd think, oh, like it's okay for me to start drinking now. It's just so normalized to, start drinking at a certain time. But, I guess I came to realize that these types of environments, they're making me feel a little bit worse. I wasn't feeling like I was reaching towards what it is that I was looking for in life. I wasn't seeking out any sort of meaning from this. I wasn't getting anything out of it, essentially, except for just making myself feel sick and damaging my body. Some of the benefits that I've had coming out of this is I'm always feeling very clear-minded. I always feel quite healthy. And it's not to say that I will never drink again. I never really had an issue per se. I think it was more just trying to chase something. And I think a lot of alcoholism and a lot of, I think, drugs and substance abuse has something to do with that in some way, shape, or form, or it can. For me, it was a little bit of a chasing something that I couldn't really attain. I guess like when I was younger, I always drank to get drunk. That was a big thing. I guess that goes along with the whole chasing something. I don't drink to get drunk anymore. If I do drink, it's only one, and it's just I'm not really even sure why I bother. Since quitting, obviously I've saved a lot more money. Rather than spending this all on like nights out, spending hundreds of dollars just on going out and socializing, I guess. Sleep, it's actually been proven that drinking alcohol, no matter if it does kind of knock you out, it's proven that you'll have less quality sleep, which made a lot of sense to me because I did always sleep really horribly whenever I drank. I guess I'm very, very in tune with my body, and I didn't like feeling so shaken out of that, I guess. It just felt like it took so much time to recover and clear that out of my system. And I guess I came to the realization that I'd rather be clear-minded and just be myself and accept myself and not put myself in those environments if it's something that was so uncomfortable for me. The realization that you can choose to take a more alcohol-free path, and oftentimes it doesn't have much to do with you, I guess, broadcasting it outright as I am doing now. It could be a little bit more just you choosing to opt out, swap it out. Instead of getting a Long Island iced tea, just get an iced tea. You can still be in these environments if you choose to be. For me, it was something I chose that it wasn't just the alcohol for me, it was the environment. So I chose to opt out of the entire thing. But if alcohol is a big part of your life and you are considering cutting it out of your life, there are certain ways that you can go about doing this. Like you can choose to drink much less and say less about it. That's kind of how I started. Sometimes it can be such a social thing that it can be hard to cut out. In acknowledgement of that, I can understand the difficulty. After cutting this out of my life, I felt a lot healthier, a lot more, I guess, aligned with what it is that I want. And I know for sure that that's not the path I want to go down. I don't like those environments. I don't like poisoning myself. I don't like drugs or alcohol or anything to do with numbing my mind. Going down my health and mindfulness path, I have decided that I'm going to try to do things that enrich my life and bring me what it is that I'm looking for. So I guess joy and feeling like I'm not so much lying to myself. Because when you're drinking yet you're still trying to be healthy, maybe you're trying to work out or you're trying to eat good but you still drink, and I guess it kind of feels like you're lying to yourself, or it felt like that for me. I feel like I have a lot more energy and I'm not scared to wake up, because I used to have these really brutal hangovers. Some of the things that are a little bit more challenging for me still to this day are perceptions and I guess comments. There hasn't been too many. I find that I can tend to fly under the radar a little bit with that. But I guess just choosing to opt out of these specific social circles has been a little bit difficult, because it makes me feel like I am being cold or harsh, when really I just needed to act with a little bit more self-love and a little bit more self-care and act more intentionally towards what it is that I want out of my life, and that's just not it. I thought that alcohol would have a lot of a bigger impact on me for a lot longer. But I'm glad I cut it out a lot sooner because it was bringing me a lot of grief and I was so tired of being hungover and sick from it. I hope that this gives you a little bit of insight if you are on the edge of perhaps choosing to cut this out of your life. Of course, there might be a variety of different reasons why you may choose to take this route. This is only my experience, but I'm curious to hear your story if you do have one about quitting alcohol or deciding to cut back or cut out of these social norms. Anyway, if you did find any value from this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.